So I'm here with an amazing young man who is making waves all over social media with his art and talent. Now, talking about art and talent, I would say that he's a true definition of it. So far as creativity and art is concerned, a young fella who is changing the narrative and telling stories through paintings on naked bodies. Let's take a quick breather. When we come back, I will unravel who my guest is, and we'll dive deep into the conversation. My name is Joseph Mensa, and here's Talkertainment here on GhanaWeb. Stay locked. You're welcome back from that quick breather. I'm here with the genius, Oscar Mauli. Rob, welcome
Nice meeting
to GhanaWeb Talkertainment. Now, for starters, tell us about yourself. Who is Oscar?
So, I'm in the person of Oscar Mauli. I'm a Ghanaian visual artist, more multidisciplinary. My art actually spans across body painting, fine art photography, videography, creative directing. I do canvas painting as well, and recently I would call myself a publisher and author because then I actually just launched my book, my first debut book. So basically that's who Oscar is. I'm also the founder of Younger Art, a creative space where we create art to promote cultural sustainability, highlighting issues of decolonizing practices in contemporary culture, the essence of identity, basically to individuals, art enthusiasts, and people in the diaspora at large.
Right. So now tell me, at what point in time did you decide to become an artist?
For me, I've always been an artist for as long as I can remember from childhood, because then I used to draw from cassettes, like CDs.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also used to create car designs from Conco cars. You get it, like 10 cars, and turn them into cars. And all these things like actually honed my creative skills. So I would say art has always been with me from childhood. Yeah.
So at what point in time did you decide to venture into body painting?
I mean, I remember clearly back in high school, I used to draw patterns a lot on my tables and my textbook, especially when I'm writing exams. When it comes to math like this and I'm not seeing top, I'll just be drawing on the paper. So it's always been like that. And after high school, that was back in 2017, I schooled in Mauli.
Okay.
So when I was done, I was waiting for the results, and I had the opportunity to actually work on my first production, which was a music video by Becca featuring Sakodi and Nana. So the creative director called, and he mentioned he actually wanted body painting on set. So I didn't actually know what the art was about at the time. So I had to do research, and I was like, oh yeah, this looks like something I used to do back then on the tables and then in my books and papers. So I actually just emulated those same designs onto the body, and that was it for me. I realized it was actually something that has potential, so I decided to actually go along with that.
When we were kids, right, we used to go to fan fairs and stuff. That's when my first time seeing people doing body paintings. But why naked bodies instead of doing the normal, painting on the faces and stuff?
I mean, art has to be provocative in a way. Has to be like, I wouldn't say there are arts that are modest and some that are very provocative. But I also believe, based on my research and actually exploring what art is in the African scope, when it comes to identity, I realize nudity has always been part of our culture.
Okay.
No matter how we try to shy away from it, it's part of our culture.
How has that been part of our culture?
Because then you look at our festive occasions, our festivals, you see nudity in there. Really? And you go to the I mean, look at this festival. Sorry, the ones that they practice the Dipo right. Okay. There's nudity in there. We have teenagers, young ladies with body painting, parading their community, showcasing their rich culture and diversity when it comes to Africa. So basically, we have all this, and it cuts across different tribes and cultures in the African context. So when it comes to body painting too, it's always been part of our practice or our culture in a way, or our traditions, because then from prehistory, body painting has actually been there. It cuts across the whole world globally. You see people having traces of body painting in their culture, and Africa is largely here because of the natural resources and colors that we derive from the earth and our plants. So yeah.
So now, how are you able to discover your models?
So
or scout them?
Mostly they reach out to me.
Wow.
Yeah. When I said that, it was from friends and then like a few models. Yeah, but mostly they reach out to me.
You said from friends. Now tell me, the first time you painted someone, I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
it was a friend, right?
Yeah, the first time it was someone I knew that was actually a model. So, and basically they were friends. It started with face paintings. So I would say at that point it was just friends. So I began to like actually explore the subject and research more into it. And then I would say the first time I actually reached out to a model friend and she was interested in the concept. So that was how I eventually elaborated on the subject.
So, well, first, do you have a studio?
I am more mobile, so I don't really need a physical space. I prefer not to be enclosed.
Okay.
My work is more tailored with nature, so I just like to be mobile when it comes to my practice.
No, talking about friends, you said people reach out to you.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time someone is coming to you, in as much as the person reached out to you, oh, Oscar, I want you to paint me. How are you able to make them comfortable so far as the painting is concerned?
So it comes to you, the artist,
Okay.
and your morals.
Okay.
When it comes to my practice, I'm very strict, but then the environment is very conducive because then you feel more relaxed too as well. I like to make sure you're very comfortable in the sense that there's no room for dirty conversations or anything of that sort that would actually spark any kind of unrelated issues regarding the subject. You get it? So it's more art related till everything is over.
Wow. Wow. I mean, this question has been on everybody's mind, and I would want to ask me the first
Sure.
time I chanced upon your work, I was like, Charlie, wait, what be this guy? Wait, Charlie, the bodies and the you're painting. First, how long does a session take?
It depends. I work really fast because then I've actually practiced over the years. But then also it depends on the vibe from the person, the person's energy. So yeah, it varies.
Now, let's talk about how do you navigate the balance between intimacy and professionalism?
Well, I'm very strict when it comes to my practice.
Okay.
I have a contract, a model release contract that I give to models.
Okay.
And the whole experience is mostly like documented. So there's professionalism there. And our conversation is always art related and nothing else other than what we are working towards. So there's no room for anything else other than what we are working towards.
So, in a studio session, are you the only person with the model, or maybe sometimes you are with the colleagues, or I mean, is it always between you and your model?
It depends mostly because then I'm more multidisciplinary. I do video, photography, and everything. So sometimes I would set the tripod. Like I said, we don't really work in a studio space. Sometimes we paint in the like open space, like nature.
Okay,
So
okay.
I set the tripod with the camera rolling, capturing the behind the scenes, and basically like the fine art photography shots too as well. So sometimes I require assistance as well from friends and fellow like colleagues that are also in the media space. So
Now, you've been talking about discipline, and but you know the industry we find ourselves where either being music, movie, or art, we've had ladies coming out to talk about the fact that a director is trying to have some sort of affair with him or
Yeah.
with her. Now, has there been a situation whereby you've thought about wanting to sleep with any of your models? Not during the session,
Yeah.
but maybe afterwards. Maybe you see the body, you say like, "Child, this body, dear, I don't want it."
personally, I don't first things. I don't mix pleasure with work.
Okay.
That's one thing about me, and I always believe the industry is very small because then when it comes to the creative space, you might go somewhere then chance upon someone like you actually know or someone that knows someone. And when it comes to like, because I work with women a lot, I always believe they are more like interconnected in a way because then they know each other when it comes to creative like models space. So I wouldn't want to have my name out there for a negative reason that I try to touch a lady or sexually assault them. So I'm very disciplined when it comes to that.
Indeed. Actually, you the force, so low-key, because me party,
I mean,
oh, I don't go fit
I
though.
didn't get comments, but it's interesting sometimes when I see those comments because then it shows you how much, how bad it is out there. Because then, yeah, I hear some stuff like that, But then there are people out there that are also very disciplined when it comes to
their work.
Yeah.
Now, well, let's take a quick breather. When we come back, we talk about your book and
Sure.
the criticisms you face, and also the social media. I know X there normally be
Oh, yeah,
listening.
yeah.
So we are watching Talkertainment here on GhanaWeb. Let's take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll dive more into the conversation. Welcome from that quick break. You are still watching Talkertainment here on GhanaWeb. Now, Oscar, before we went on that quick break, we are talking about discipline. I was telling the fact that Charlie media no go fit and stuff. Has there been a situation whereby any of your models are trying to, one way or the other, seduce you to?
Not necessarily, because then I wouldn't create the room for that. It's basically and mostly art focused. So you wouldn't have the, even if you have that thought, you wouldn't have the strength to even pull it off, because then you wouldn't have the opportunity to actually bring that up.
Hey, but Charlie, something crowd, you like that put them down.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, you have to know that as a man and then be able to control yourself when it comes to like critical stuff like this, because then you are just a second away from messing everything up that you've actually worked for. So.
Right. But are you in a relationship?
Yeah, I'm dating, I guess.
You are dating?
Yeah.
Hey, Charlie. So, you know, women, I mean, well, you should forgive me, but it is what it is. Has there been a situation whereby your girlfriend has complained about your work?
No, I mean, she's understanding. She understands like the vision and what I'm trying to, and she knows that I'm very decent when it comes to my practice.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have any doubts.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes maybe when you're painting, does she get the opportunity to come
Yeah, she has
around?
been around whilst I painted. So
Also paint.
she has seen me paint, and then the whole like process to the final end.
Oh, okay. So now tell me about your book,
Yeah.
Anansinism.
Yeah. So Anansinism is basically my style that I use for my body painting. That's why I call it. So it's basically inspired from Kwekwanance's word making process and my own pattern that I fuse in. It's also fusing with Edinkra symbols.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why I call it Anansinism basically. And it's for the book, it's more of like, it has over 100 plus images of my final photographs, featuring contributors as well, from artists and renowned people as well. So I'll be having a book launch in September. Hopefully, we are trying to lock down a space. So yeah, you're all invited if you want to actually experience firsthand.
Charlie, will come. Why not?
No, I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people have questions and they want to actually see the practice because they've seen it mostly on social media. So this is the opportunity for them to actually see it firsthand and get to ask me questions that.
Now, you're talking about Kwekwananse,
Yeah.
Edinkra symbols and stuff. I've been watching your videos. At what point in time, or what's the story like? What story are you trying to tell with a single paint?
So the story or concept is diverse, but I'm mostly influenced by our traditions and culture and African spirituality, and also advocating for women. So as a creative or as an artist, I'm influenced by my own personal creative ways of telling stories. So it could be on an issue, and then I see how I could actually tell those stories in my own way. It could be from a cultural context when it comes to spirituality. I have this work called Virtues of Wisdom, which was inspired by Anansi the Pot of Wisdom.
Yeah.
So for that work, I just had to like put in much thought process to see how I can visualize that story and preserving mythology when it comes to African storytelling in a creative like way. So it's just like that when it comes to the creative process for me.
Okay. I've seen a video where one of your models, I mean, I think it was in the bush, right? And after you were done with the session, and she was pouring libation, kind of.
Oh, yeah. So that piece is titled Veneration. It basically highlights practices when it comes to libation.
Okay.
So like I mentioned, I like to capture and then tell stories of African spirituality, culture, and traditions. I believe we are currently in a time where our identity is actually speaking for itself. There's craving for what it means to be an African, our culture and our traditions. And we have lots of diasporans trooping in to actually learn about our spirituality and culture. So how do we tell these stories? How do we package it for a diverse audience, be it the current generation, the youth, and also those in the diaspora? So that's basically what I try to do in my arts, tell African stories in a more creative way, personal creative way that can connect to individuals and art enthusiasts as well as those in the diaspora.
Right. Now let's talk about feedbacks and criticisms.
Yeah.
I've been watching some of your comments, the comment section under most of your videos. How do audience really accept your new concepts so far as art is concerned?
I wouldn't say they are new, or I see the criticism. It's quite interesting. I mostly read comments, and it's interesting how people like perceive them. And that's one thing about art. It's very interesting because then art is supposed to like speak for itself and get opinions, like people talking. So when I see this comment, I believe like the work is actually doing what it's meant to do, because then for me, nudity in my work is more like a hook to draw people to the concept that the work actually holds.
Okay.
So when I see them hooked like that, now they are deliberating. What does this mean? Like, they are striving to learn more. And that's what gets you hooked to the whole practice. Then also, in the book, you get to have a larger understanding of what the practice is about. So that's basically that for me. I just find those comments really interesting, because then I believe people are getting interested in the art, because art is always like that.
What's the harsh criticisms you face so far as your work is concerned?
I honestly don't see them as harsh. I see them as like intrusive, like they really want to learn.
Okay.
They want to know what inspires what I do. So I don't see any comment as harsh.
Now, what are some of the misconceptions you've heard about your work?
I mean, people see it as sexualized at most.
Okay.
But when it comes to sexuality or sexualism, it's part of art.
Okay.
It's always been there. It's part of our cultural traditions. So I don't really say much of it. How you want to perceive it is up to you. But then if you read a lot or you research a lot, you'll understand that art is actually very broad, and this is part of not just art, it's part of our culture and our everyday life.
Let's talk about your models again.
Yeah.
You're talking about the criticisms. Has there been a situation whereby in any of your model, when you started with your friends, right?
Yeah.
The video going out or their painting going out, has there been a situation whereby they've come to you and complained about stigmatization or being...
Yeah, I've had that a lot. I wouldn't lie. Some from family, some from like friends. Sometimes they'll sit in the bars and then they'll hear people actually pointing fingers at them. That's how much. But then they actually understand that this is going to happen. I actually make them know too, because then based on analytics, and I tell them, hey, are you really interested in this? Because then this is what I projected for you, that this is what is going to happen. I make you mentally prepared. Okay. So basically, you know that before you get into what you want to do.
But we are human. Sometimes there are some comments that will come at you and it will just break you down.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but then it's your own personal preference. You wanted to do it and you came.
Yeah, I wanted to do it. You know, we do something and we later regret. Because this is going to be there forever.
Yeah.
Right. How do you handle such stuff? I mean, a model comes to you and say, you know what, I was in the car going here and this person made this kind of comments. I mean, I'm not mentally stable. How are you able to, or how do you make them comfortable? What are the procedures
I believe
in a psychologist or something?
You know the weight attached to the work or what you're getting into. So I also have to protect myself and my art. So you sign a model release.
Okay.
Yeah. So it protects both of us as well. Yeah. So it depends on you. Like before you already seen what work you want to engage yourself into. And I also tell you, I'll make it clear. In the process of painting, I keep asking them, are you okay? Are you comfortable? If you want to back out, then you are free to back out. But if you follow through to the very end, I don't see the reason why when the work is finally out, you should have because then eventually you decided and actually wanted to engage into the practice. So whatever comes with it, it's not an art piece. So yeah, it's up to you.
Well, don't you think that? Yeah, I agreed. Again, I agreed. But here lies the case whereby what I anticipated is not what I'm.
That's what I let you know based on feedback.
So I mean, it still boils down to is there been a psychologist or something to at least cushion them when they are going through any mental problem? Let me put it that way.
I mean, not from my end. I don't have a psychologist that would take you through, but the very way I can actually assist, I'll let you know based on feedbacks I've received in the past, and like I said, how my work has been actually taken, or the views that are attached to my work. So I make you know all that. I let you know what it's going to look like when the videos are out.
Okay.
Are you ready for that?
Okay.
So if you're, I mean, you should, and I give you a contract to stating the terms, and it highlights basically everything that is going to.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, that's that for.
Now let's talk about your achievements. I watched some of your. I mean, I've been following your page. I think you have a project in Lagos in September or something.
Yeah, it's also like the book launch. I plan to make it more global.
Okay.
So starting from Africa, Ghana, and then
Outside.
taking it across. Yeah.
Now, any achievements so far from your work?
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to collaborate with like acclaimed personalities and celebrities. Some have been featured in music videos like Dako Vibes and the video
Oh,
and
you were behind.
like yeah, there was body painting in the Yawa.
Okay.
That music video. Yeah, the body painting in there. When it comes to Becca featuring Sarkodie, I've also done. I think it has also been featured in one of the banks. I've forgotten the name exactly. One of their commercials. Yeah, I've done quite a lot. Some of you actually forgotten about. Yeah.
It was right now. You'll be big man.
Oh, no, I'm still.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
So yeah, I'm positioning myself to have like a creative space where it would be global and popular among the locals as well. When I say locals, not just Ghanaians, but then in Africa at large and in the global space. So that's what I'm looking at having. And basically, my art is actually getting attention, not just in Ghana or in Africa, but nationwide.
Right.
So I'm just looking at how I can actually put all that into a space that will actually enhance creativity in Ghana and tell our tradition and stories to a global audience.
How do you see your work fitting into the broader scope of this contemporary arts?
Well, I mean, we are currently in a stage in the arts where people are talking about their identity a lot, and when it comes to Black identity, my work is actually speaking about that. When it comes to cultural sustainability, my work is actually there also highlighting that, because it's highlighting our culture and tradition. When it comes to contemporary issues, my work and the concepts I work with actually addresses that, because then I address empowering issues and issues that are actually very marginalizing society. So I have my work like touching all these aspects relating to contemporary issues.
But then, is business booming? I mean, do you have people trooping in to buy your artwork?
I mean, yeah, artists, I wouldn't say, it depends. It depends. It's like, my works are being exhibited globally, I would say. So I believe, success is measured in different ways and opinions. So I would say my art is actually doing what it's meant to do.
It's been an insightful conversation with you, actually, talking about yoga art and stuff. Now, where can people find you if they want to?
So on social media platforms, you can find me through my handle, Yonga Art, YONGA_art, ARTS, and on Google you can find using my name, Oscar Koblama Oyaoku, and you have my social media platforms also featured on the My Knowledge panels.
Okay, all right, bro, Oscar. It's been a long time, and
I mean, it's actually nice speaking to you too.
Well, I really have fun, and I'm hoping to see you or come to your exhibition.
Yeah, definitely.
One with the other, I just hope I can be able to purchase one of your, or maybe you go dash me one for free, but I don't go mind. If you give me one, because I really want to, because I've been looking at your art and I'm like, Charlie, I wish to get one of these in my room.
I mean, you can get a book. The book has everything featured on this. So.
But then, I mean, I want it on my wall. So how are we going to do it after getting?
For now, you get a book, and then later on, when you have money, you come for the.
I hope it will cost me much more.
And when you come there, you will see the codes. So.
Now, this is how we draw the curtains on this episode of Talkertainment. Here with me, Josephine Mensah. Till we meet again, I'll say adios.